Welcome to On Writing with Onkarabile Mokoto, the show that is aiming to promote reading and writing in our communities. We seek to restore pride, dignity, and our voices through the power of reading and writing. Ladies and gentlemen, help me to welcome our Nhlanhla Matea, who is here today to share more on the culture of reading that she's creating through an online bookstore. Nhlanhla Matea, thank you so much, for coming to the show.
Thank you so much for having me today. It's my honor to be here.
You're welcome. Let's talk about the culture of reading that you are creating through your online bookstore.
So it started at a very young age, but I didn't take it seriously. It was still at school. I would buy books, magazines and all that, and I would read. But 2019, prior COVID-19, I started selling, but it wasn't as serious as though. Then 2020, that's when I took it like to be all serious.
Okay. And what really inspired you to want people to read? Why do you want people to read? Why do you think there is power or importance of reading?
So it only takes one book to change your life. So with that being said, I always saw or found advice in books. When it comes to people, not so much. I wasn't very open with anyone, but when it comes to books, I always found what I needed. So it only took like one book that inspired me to want people to read. Okay. So I think reading is very imperative. Everything is in books.
Okay. Maybe is there any turning point in your life where you got something from a certain book that actually gave you that courage that now you're standing here saying only one book can change your life?
Yes, it was by Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad. That was my first book that actually made me want to take this bookstore seriously. It also gave me a push to actually encourage people in my circle to read, because that's where I found my turning point. When it comes to, it has to do with finances. That's where it all will change, because finances, I used to struggle a lot, and then now after reading that book, I just wanted to read throughout.
So you really encourage people to read?
Yes.
All right, so the issue of opening your online bookstore, where did you get that idea?
So because everything was going online now, everything is going online. With COVID, you cannot you can expect anything can happen. So it being online, everybody's on their phone, it's very easy. So with physical stores closing down, it was like a bit of a hitch for me. I was like, it's not gonna work. But since everything is going online, I was like, no, I'm taking it online as well.
And I love your initiative, because you're also teaching us that you don't need an office to actually sell something. Someone is thinking that, I need to sell something, but I need to have an office where I would pack my books and stuff like that. But you are saying you don't need to rent a space, for you to sell some products.
Right.
Yeah. And how do you now distribute the books to your customers?
So we use the Pixie service, courier service via PEP. So we communicate very effectively with our customers how we're gonna deliver the product. So we use the PEP. For now it's PEP, but when time goes, we're gonna have our own courier service.
Okay.
Yes. So it's very important for us to communicate very, because now everything's online. We can't trust everything online. So you have to have your you have to be on point with your courier service as well.
Okay. And what kinds of books do you sell?
We sell every kind of book. Every book you think of. It being spiritual, business, textbook, school books as well. Every book you think of, we do have.
Okay. And Nhlanhla, apart from you saying that one book can change your life, you are still young. At your early age, some of your peers, most of the time they spend watching TV.
Yes.
They spend on social media, spending on parties and do that. But you have decided that you are going to take time and read. And not only reading, but also past what you are doing to other people. What inspired you? What keeps you going, if I can say? What keeps you going?
I think I keep myself going.
Okay.
So what happens is, if you you are very, like myself, I wasn't an extrovert. Well, still not am an extrovert. I had to find something that would keep me busy. Besides school and everything, I had to find something that would keep me busy. Parties, not so much. TV, I didn't find anything that I could relate to. So I had to find something that I can relate to and then keep it going. So that's what keeps me going. Reading, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And tell me about the relationship with you and the authors. What is it that, do you think there's contribution that you are making to authors, apart from, just making them to, or making their information to get into their readers? Is there anything that you're doing towards them, the contribution that you are doing towards them?
So with that, I think they are contributing more to me than I do to them, because when I read what they wrote, it's a story. They tell their own story. I relate. Sometimes I don't. I'm just like, I need to sit down with the author and ask a few questions. So I think they are giving more than I can give. So sharing their information, sharing their stories, is something that I can say I'm contributing.
Okay.
Yes, sharing their stories.
And do you work perhaps with some local authors, maybe where you buy their books?
Yes, we do work. There's one guy from Pretoria. Yes, we are working with him.
So, Nhlanhla, tell me, do you perhaps work with some local authors that maybe you buy their books and sell them to the readers?
Yes, we do work with local. I think that's where we have to start, locally. That's where it all starts. There is few authors that I can name. Madisa Kabelo, that is an author as well. So we buy and then we also sell. Okay. Yes, so because it all starts locally. That's where that's how we build our foundation. Start locally.
And what's your dream about, or vision? Let me just say, what's your vision about this bookstore? You said the name of the bookstore is?
It's the B Zone.
The B Zone.
Yes.
Oh, and then how did the name come? Before you tell me about the vision, how did the name come about?
So the name came about the B, like this one with the letter B. B stands for my name, which is brilliant. Okay. So in my language, it was like Bukali.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
So the B stands for my name. I love it so much. I think my mom, when she gave me the name, she saw, I don't know, light, brilliance and everything. So I was like, no, the B is for the book. And then the zone, whenever I'm in my zone, is either be studying or reading. I don't want anybody to disturb me. Nothing can disturb me when I'm in my zone. So I just like, you know what, it's the B zone. Okay. Yes.
All right. And the vision?
So the vision is, it needs to grow. We need to get more local authors to showcase their work, because they don't get the platform to, their books don't hit the shelves as much as they would like it to be. But with our bookstore, we want local authors to actually showcase their work.
Okay. And are you only planning it to do it online forever, or is there a point where we'll have some building, like in those bookshops that we see when you go to the malls, you see the bookshops there? Are you also planning to do that, or you just go online? We
are planning on having a physical store, but now we just need to have like a very strong foundation when it comes to online, because everything is like digital now. Everybody's on their phone. At least if you're on your phone, then there's that pop-up advert for our shop shows as well. So physical store we're gonna have, and a physical warehouse where all the books are there. And then if you order them online, we know we're not gonna get them at the bookstore, but in the warehouse. Yes.
There's someone who is watching the show now, and those people are struggling when it comes to reading.
Right.
Because I remember one person said, even if you can put 1,000 in this book, and you go for a month, you'll still find that 1,000.
Yes.
Because I can't open that.
Of course.
So someone is watching the show and they are saying, I really want to read. I want to get into this habit of reading, but it's very tough. How can it be easy for that person to actually get into that habit of reading?
Firstly, find something that you can relate to. Not every book has what you need. So if you find something that you are struggling with, it be finances, or in my case it was finances. I had to motivate myself to read more about finances. I believe in, if you know better, you do better. if you know about something, obviously you're gonna do something better because you know about it. So if you find something that you struggle with, it being relationship wise, find a book that talks about relationships. And then start small, one chapter a day. One chapter a day.
Yeah.
It's okay. Don't push yourself too hard because you like fresh. You're still starting. So if you can just do it, just open that book. Then I promise you, just find you'll be in your zone reading that book.
And apart from you, Nhlanhla, having an online bookstore, which actually promote the culture of reading in our nation. And we know that the statistics or research have proven that South Africa is a land-reading culture nation. So apart from you opening or having a bookstore, a bookshop, what are other things that other people can do? Maybe not only opening a bookstore, obviously opening a bookstore can be one of them, but what are other things that if I, Onkarabile, don't have the passion to open a bookstore, but I want to contribute towards the culture of reading and writing something, what can we do?
I think let's do research, because I believe where there's a problem, there's a solution as well. If the reading culture is at that low level, even if we're not opening bookstores, even if we're not forcing people to read, let's find a way of or create a space where even if we're not opening bookstores, as you said, but we need to kind of know what the problem is, where it all began, or how can we go about it. So even if we started parks, we have mini books, we read to the kids. It starts there because now their mind is still fresh, it's still tender. If we can go to the parks, read to them, read with them, let them know that yes, playing is fun, but let's just instill some information, because you can get information everywhere. It doesn't have to be a book, it has to be newspapers, magazines. Because now if we have tablets, we can go on a tablet and get a book, read news. It doesn't have to be a book, you just need ink, just read. That's it.
As we wrap up this conversation, I'm going to ask you the last question. I came across a statement on social media, and it says, and I paraphrase, it says, a person who graduated, since they end up opening the book 10 years ago when they graduated, opening up the book. In other words, since they end up opening the book when they were writing the exam, after they got the exam, they closed the chapter, because they are reading or they are studying to pass. You know, according to you, as you are a reader, is there a difference between reading that kind of way of writing exams and reading the way you are promoting?
So there's a difference between reading and studying. Obviously, when you study, you are going to get a test and write about what you just read. So you just study. And when it comes to reading, you need to read and understand. If you don't understand something, go back and read again. You need to understand that even if I'm reading a book, nobody's gonna give me a test and ask me what was the book about. But when it comes to studying, obviously you're gonna get a test and you're gonna answer the questions in there. But when you read to understand and to actually relate to what the author wrote. Make notes. Yes, we do make notes when we study, but when it comes to reading a book, that's where you need to put all your focus on and understand what the author is talking about. So there is a huge difference between that, because there we just studying to pass and get that exam going, but that can actually take you with what you're reading in a book can actually take you very far in terms of, doesn't have to be in a workplace, but life in general. Because when you study, you want to get that degree and get that job. But when it comes to reading a book, it can actually help you in many aspects of your life. It doesn't have to be one, but there's like a wide range of aspects.
No, thank you so much for that. If people want to get hold of you, they want to buy some books from you, you know, they want to support your online bookstore.
Right.
How can they get you?
You can get me on every social media platform. Facebook, it's the B Zone. It's the B Zone, capital B, yes. And then Instagram also the B Zone. And yeah, man, if you want to get hold of me on my email, it's Nhlanhla Matea 8@gmail.com. Yes.
Thank you so much for gracing us with your presence, and coming to promote the culture of reading and writing in our nation. And I believe, I remember you're still on your way to write a book, right?
Yes.
And your book will just go along the way of reading.
It should.
It should be. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you so much for having me.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching On Writing with Onkarabile Mokoto, the show that is aiming to promote reading and writing in our communities. Please do subscribe to our channel, Nolu Unlimited Multimedia. And my name is Onkarabile Mokoto. I'm saying to you, don't wait for things to come to you. Go and get things. See you soon.